Hello and welcome to the second installment of our Record of Ragnarok coverage. Today we will be discussing the entire history of the supreme god of the Greek pantheon, Zeus. This video will contain spoilers for both the anime and the manga. Additionally, please keep in mind that the manga is not yet complete. It is currently in Fight 6 of a possible 13, so naturally this video may be incomplete as the series is still ongoing. With that being said, let's discuss the origins and history of Zeus. While it's unknown where the majority of the gods in the Record of Ragnarok universe originate from, we know that Zeus has been around since time immemorial, as he was present for the Big Bang itself. However, Zeus does not predate time, as he is the son of Kronos, the most powerful titan, and the embodiment of time. Billions of years ago, Zeus was born to the Titans Kronos and Rhea, but as he grew, he would grow resentful of the Titans' power and devise a plan with his siblings to overthrow their parents. Eons ago, the 13 Olympians of the Greek pantheon grew tired of the Titans' domination of the gods and challenged them to a tournament which would be known as the Titanomachy to determine who would rule the cosmos. Zeus dominated his way to the final battle, not taking a single hit the entire tournament until both Zeus and Kronos made it to the finals, and in their fateful battle, Zeus emerged victorious. However, he did not escape unscathed. During the fight, Kronos was able to hit Zeus with a punch that knocked out Zeus's teeth. While Zeus had no love for his father, he did respect his abilities as a fighter, and before crushing Kronos' head under his foot, he let Kronos know that he was one hell of a fighter. In the time that followed, Zeus would work to master the punch that his father had struck him with, which would come to be known as the fist that surpassed time, which is a strike so fast that it is beyond time itself and contains all of the respect and resentment Zeus had for his father. Since this attack is beyond time itself, it cannot be seen by those who cannot attain such speeds, which is why Zeus did not initially understand what his father had hit him with. Shortly after overthrowing the Titans with the help of his fellow gods, Zeus inherited the title of the ruler of the cosmos, despite being the youngest of four brothers, with Hades being the eldest, followed by Adamas, Poseidon, and then finally Zeus, the youngest. Despite Zeus defeating the most powerful Titan in one-on-one combat, his older brother Adamas, the god of conquest, was furious that Zeus was being given the ultimate power. So, he released the surviving Titans, as well as the giants from the pits of Tartarus, and after bending the mighty Typhon to his will, Adamas marched on Olympus. By the time he reached Poseidon's palace, Adamas had gained the support of 49 members of Zeus's council and a number of the remaining 10 Olympians who would strike at Adamas' signal. Adamas begged Poseidon to join him, as there was no way Zeus could stand against them with Poseidon on their side. Upon hearing his older brother's proposal, Poseidon was disgusted and just killed Adamas. Poseidon told Hermes to begin the process of erasing Adamas from history, and no other god objected. While it seemed that Hermes was planning to betray Zeus, Hermes had actually started spreading a rumor that there was a traitor among the gods, and even went to Zeus with his plan, which Zeus loved, and hoped that it would start a war among the gods, which he thought would be a lot of fun. So in the end, Zeus retained his title, and Adamas was wiped from history. At some point, Zeus was appointed as the leader of the gods and chairman of the Council of Valhalla due to his immense creation and destruction powers, and despite having the ability of creation, I guess he decided not to create himself some new teeth because he goes toothless for the rest of his life. After the creation of man by the gods through the evolution from monkeys, the Council of Valhalla would convene once every 1,000 years to discuss the fate of humanity and whether humanity could continue living on the earth. Despite consistently voting for humanity's survival, if the gods determined that man had advanced too far, they would descend to destroy key elements of their civilization. One such instance was following the Great Flood, where Noah's descendants gathered to build a tower to the heavens, which they called the Tower of Babel. The gods did not think kindly of this, and they reacted in kind, killing Nimrod and everyone present at the tower. In the year 2000 BC, it was yet again time for the council to vote on the fate of humanity, with Zeus leading the proceedings. The gods voted 74% in favor of keeping humanity around, while 26% voted to end humanity. Upon seeing the final vote, Zeus wanted to speak with some of the individual gods to get more insight about their votes and reasoning. If you watched our video explaining what Ragnarok is, then you would know that Aphrodite in the most recent voting did vote to end humanity. However, here she simply says that humans are too quick to kill all the animals around them, and they do go to war a lot, so maybe, just maybe, they need to be scolded instead of destroyed, and she particularly means the city of Thebes. Loki agreed and said that they should do what they did to Nimrod and those at the Tower of Babel, which, would be killing the residents of Thebes. Shiva protested and volunteered to descend to Thebes to punish them himself, but Ares then interjected and stated that because Thebes was under the jurisdiction of the Greek gods, that he should be the one to go, which he did. While there, Ares witnessed a human named Alcides drink the ambrosia, a concoction made from Zeus's blood that grants any true hero godlike power, but kills anyone not deemed worthy. Alcides battled Ares with his newfound power until Zeus finally stepped in to stop the fight. Zeus offered Alcides the opportunity to become a god because leaving him on Earth would become troublesome later on. Since Alcides was a self-proclaimed ally of justice, Zeus felt that that was a fitting job for a god. But Alcides had one condition, that the gods would never harm humanity again, which Zeus agreed to as long as Alcides worked to lead humanity to righteousness. Following this, Zeus gave Alcides the task of completing 12 labors, and after doing so, Zeus accepted Alcides as his son and gave him the name Heracles out of respect for Zeus's wife, Hera. Eventually, the time would come for the gods to convene yet again to determine the fate of humanity. However, this time, humanity wasn't so lucky, as the gods had grown disgusted with their creation and voted to end the human race. But before Zeus could make it official, Brunhild, one of the valkyries, proposed Ragnarok. Upon hearing this, Zeus was pumped up, and in a furious frenzy, he killed his pet dragon and announced that Ragnarok would commence without consulting any of the other gods. Zeus, being the leader of the gods, would of course choose his combatants and the order in which they fought. Zeus chose himself, Buddha, Apollo, Poseidon, Susanoo no Makito, Thor, Bishamonten, Loki, Anubis, Odin, Beelzebub, Heracles, and Shiva, with Thor being their strongest warrior, taking the first battle against Lubu. Zeus was most pleased with the first round of Ragnarok, and while he initially was angry over what he felt was a rebellion against the gods, his anger turned to elation during the first fight, and he claimed that it was the greatest thrill he'd had since the Big Bang. After Thor's victory, Zeus was delighted, but still admired the strength of humanity. Following the first battle, Zeus refused to wait, and while he initially slated Shiva to fight second, he met with Shiva in the tunnel before the second bout, and forced Shiva into allowing Zeus to fight next, and made it quite clear that he wasn't asking. Zeus is then heralded by Hermes as the two dance onto the battlefield, pumped up to fight on behalf of the gods against the man most despised by the divine, Adam. Zeus then transforms from a frail old man into a frightening behemoth of a god to battle Adam. While Zeus's appearance was fierce, Adam was calm and collected, using his Eyes of the Lord, which allowed him to copy any attack or godlike ability to dodge and counter every one of Zeus's attacks, even the fist that surpassed time. Upon being struck with his own powerful technique taken from his father Kronos, Zeus's head was turned around 180 degrees and the crowd thought it was over, and Heimdall nearly announced Adam as the winner before Zeus rose up, turned his head back around, and prepared to continue. Zeus was then forced to use his final form, which he typically doesn't like to do as it rattles his old bones. Loki was excited to see this as he'd not seen Zeus transform in a few 100 million years. Zeus then began to writhe in pain as he super compressed his muscles and transformed into an even more grisly form known as Adamus, possibly named for his late brother. I should also mention that the original Japanese here, the Adamus translation could just literally mean diamond, which would make a lot of thematic sense as this is a very, very durable form for Zeus. While in this state, Zeus's body is virtually indestructible and immensely powerful as he can concentrate all of his divine might into each and every single movement. Shiva comments that in this form, Zeus could destroy heaven itself. However, there is a downside. Zeus can only hold this form for around 12 to 13 minutes, and only about 5 to 6 minutes if he is constantly taking damage. When Zeus transformed, the entire arena felt his aura, and their primal instincts warned them that a massive threat had just arrived, and Adam, for the first time during the fight, raised his guard. Each one of Zeus's strikes were now powerful enough to one-shot Adam, so Adam was forced to dodge each and every attack by utilizing his Eyes of the Lord. So the match turned into one of attrition. Who would falter first, the almighty Zeus or the first man? Eventually, Adam's overtaxing of his eyes caused him to turn blind, but Adam continued to fight until he simply died mid-punch. Despite Adam being the bane of the gods, in the end, Zeus had nothing but respect for the first man and said that if it was a contest of endurance, he would surely give it to Adam. After this, Zeus was sent to the infirmary to recover and watch the next fight from a screen there. And after seeing his brother Poseidon killed in the third match, Zeus was calm as he realized that Kojiro was simply stronger than Poseidon, and that was all there was to say. While Shiva offered to fight next, Zeus declined as he wanted the Greek pantheon to get revenge for Poseidon, so Zeus decided that his son Heracles would fight next. As with every other fight thus far, the battle between Heracles and Jack the Ripper was too close to call, but Zeus was confident that his son would win. But after Heracles' tragic loss, Zeus went into a rage and destroyed the box seats that he, Ares, Hermes, and Loki were watching from and stormed off. Loki, equally upset, arranged a meeting with Buddha, whom he suspected was a traitor, and while supported by the 7 lucky gods, Loki threatened to kill Buddha. However, Buddha had backup of his own, but before the fight could commence, Zeus and Odin interfered. The 7 lucky gods began to argue with Zeus, but then Odin began to flex his aura, and that was that. Zeus then told Buddha to head back and warned him not to start so much trouble. Buddha and Zeus shared a laugh, then Buddha suddenly stopped, crushed the lollipop that he was eating in his mouth, and told Zeus and Odin that the only one in all of heaven and earth that can boss Buddha around is himself. Zeus then told Odin he didn't know what to do with Buddha and ran off to watch the rest of the matches. For the 5th match, Zeus finally allowed Shiva to battle, and the Indian god emerged victorious. Zeus met with Shiva in the tunnel after the fight, and Shiva explained to Zeus that he was barely hanging in there and that humans were crazy strong. Zeus shared a laugh with Shiva and agreed, seemingly becoming more and more impressed with mankind. Wanting to ride the momentum of Shiva's win, Zeus went out to find Buddha relaxing under a large tree while eating chocolates. Zeus appeared in front of him and saw that Buddha was eating sweets, and he asked for some, but Buddha refused to share. Zeus was a bit annoyed that Buddha wouldn't give him some of his chocolates, but despite this, Zeus informed Buddha that he wanted the Enlightened One to fight in the next round. Zeus admitted that he didn't really want Buddha to fight until much later, but humanity was giving the gods trouble, and he wanted to keep the momentum from Shiva's win going. Buddha questioned Zeus on why he wanted to destroy humanity so much, and Zeus responded that he doesn't like losing, and asked Buddha again whether or not he would fight in the 6th round. Buddha then agreed and hugged Zeus before departing. After arriving in the arena for his match, Buddha announced to the shock of everyone that he would not be fighting for the gods, but would instead be fighting for humanity. Zeus then came down into the arena and warned Buddha that there was a loophole that any combatant who was listed in Ragnarok can fight in future rounds even if they won their previous fight, implying that Zeus was not above fighting Buddha himself. But the sage wasn't intimidated, saying that he'd actually like to fight Zeus. However, Zeus chose Bishamonten to battle against Buddha. At the time of this recording, we don't know the winner between Buddha and Bishamonten, or as he is truly known, Zirofuku, so that's all we have for the origins and history of Zeus thus far. I hope you guys found this video informative, and if you did, please check out our other Record of Ragnarok videos to learn more about your favorite characters. Thanks again for watching, everybody. We do really appreciate it. Remember to like and subscribe, as it does really help us out, and comment below, as it helps with the whole YouTube algorithm. That's all I've got for you guys today, so remember the motto, it's Zeus over everything, and I'll see you guys next time.